Hello, my name is Mary Rasa, and I'm a librarian for Harford County Public Library. Today, we're going to be discussing genealogy and the online databases that are available with your Harford County Public Library card. And first thing we're going to do, you go to the homepage of Harford County Public Library, you go to the tab that says Research, and then you scroll over to Genealogy. So we're going to click on that. And this webpage has wonderful resources in genealogy that anybody interested in genealogy would enjoy reading and get some good tips on. But what we're going to be talking about are three databases. The first one is Family Search, the second, which is right here. The second one is Ancestry Library Edition, and the third one is Heritage Quest. First one I'm going to mention is Ancestry because everybody is aware of Ancestry because they advertise a great deal, and they are a subscription service where you do pay for them. The Ancestry Library Edition is a free one, but you can only use that within the library. And since I'm not in the library, I'm recording this remotely, we're not going to be able to get into that database. But just to mention that you have the access to the full database, but if you watch the commercials and you see that you can get a family tree and you have a leaf that's going to link you all those places, you don't get those resources if you're using it with the library, the free library edition. But you do have the access to the full databases, and if you find good sources and information, you can email them to yourself. So it is a valuable database. The second one we're going to talk about is Heritage Quest Online. And in order to use this, you click on the link for Heritage Quest. It's a great database. You need to enter your library card information in here to get to it. Okay, so once I enter my library card information in here, I have full access to this database, which includes not only census records, but city directories, which have wonderful information on an ancestor. You can find out what their profession was and where they lived. There's census records of Indians, slaveholder schedules, and all sorts of great information. I'm just going to scroll down so that you can see other things. You have military records as well, are all available here. So what we're going to go back and we're going to talk about the third database, which is Family Search. And Family Search is run by the Church of Latter-day Saints, which is the largest repository of the free genealogy records. They the Latter-day Saints mission was to go around and record all this information, and they brought it back to Utah, where many microfilms that are not available digitally are still stored. Harford County Public Library is an affiliate library, so if you need a microfilm from them, they will mail it to Harford County Public Library, and for a fee, you can look at the microfilm inside the branch. But we're going to talk more about the database and what's available. So I have up here, this is the main page. You do not need a library card to get on here. It is familysearch.org. You just need to create yourself a free account. And since I already have an account, I'm going to click the sign in. And I'm going to go ahead and sign into my account, where you are allowed to have a completely free family tree. And this is a wonderful resource where you can connect all your family members, and you are also, any sources that you find, which could be immigration records, census records, any of that type of thing, can be linked. So just for your information, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my grandmother's her record here, and we're going to open her up. It's really vital that you understand that people's names might be misspelled in there. They might have changed their name, not legally, but just because they were immigrants. My grandmother's name was Calogita, and that is an Italian name. When she came to the United States, everybody called her Lily. She never officially changed her name, but that she has her name on two different ways. So if you're doing a search by first name, last name, sometimes it's very helpful to look at relationships to see their spouse or their children to make sure that you have the correct person. Birth dates, death dates are all very important in this. So once you are able to find these people, right here we can see the sources that I've found, which include census records. They include registrations from her native country of Italy, and she was Italian during World War II, so she was considered an an enemy alien of the country, so she had to register at the post office, so there's a record of that as well. So all these sources can then be saved in a source box on Family Search, and they can be linked to your family tree so that you always continue to have that record. If another family member wants to find it, you have access to that. So that is a really wonderful thing. But to do a typical search, you go to the search box, you enter in the first name and last name. Any other information you have would be great, a birth year, birthplace, death place, spouse. All that information is going to help you locate your ancestor much easier. But what's really important to remember is that you're only looking for deceased ancestors. They do not keep track of all of these databases, don't keep track of living people because of privacy concerns and the ability to possibly do criminal activities using their names. So it is, they only have databases of those who are deceased. So you enter in first and last name and any other information you can, and you're going to find some records. Now, for the purpose of the records, I'm going to do a sample one. We're going to go back to Heritage Quest, and we're going to also explain how dates of birth and death could not be correct, and it's really important to use that within a context. Spellings could be way off because on the original census rolls, it's handwritten, and if somebody didn't have very good handwriting and the person transcribing it is not going to get that information correctly. So you got to remember to have a little leeway when you're doing your searches. But for the purpose of this, I'm going to go to the 1850 census, and we're going to look up Abraham Lincoln's wife, Mary Lincoln. And we know that they lived in Springfield, Illinois at the time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in Springfield. Okay, so we're going to come up here with Mary Lincoln. We're going to view her record. Now we know that she was born in 1818. Well, on this record, it lists her as being born in 1822. So most likely, she didn't say her accurate age. She didn't want to tell the census worker that she was really 32, so she said that she was 28. So that could throw you off if you know the person was born in 1818 and you're finding in 1822. You might not think it's the right person. So what we're going to do is a second search. We're going to go to the 1860 census, and we're going to do the exact same search for the exact same person. So here we have her in Springfield, Illinois, and we're going to look at the record. Now it's saying that here she is, wife of Abraham Lincoln, as being 35. So we know that in 1860 she was really 42 years old. So now she's aged a few years, since about 7 years since the last census, but in reality she would have been 42, but it says that she's 35. So you have to have a lot of leeway when you're doing the search and understand that mistakes, typos, or just telling the census taker the wrong information is going to happen. So don't do everything exactly, because you're probably going to miss a lot of family members. You need to look at their spouse and their children and other things like that. So what I'd like to say to you is, you have any questions, please contact me at the library. If you're not finding a search, we're always available to give you a helping hand, and happy searching.